All right, well, thank you. Thanks to the members of the City Council for inviting us down. I got Mike Darrow, my civilian deputy, with me this evening. And we're happy to report the award of the Deep Creek Bridge. It was a hard and arduous task, and we couldn't have done it really without the city's help. Because we had to have additional funds, and we needed some convincing from members of Congress and in the OMB, and I know the city was doing some effort behind the scenes to make that happen. So thank you for that effort. So we got the funds, and we were able to award the contract. So now it's getting to the work. And so we've had our initial meeting with the contractor, came up with the general construction timeline, and they'll have 3 years to complete once we get to the notice to proceed. And the notice to proceed for the actual construction will be in September. And so, we've seen a lot of activities to date with the utilities, getting reinstalled, getting realigned. And what we'll see once the contractor starts to mobilize is the site prep, right? So the deconstruction of the orthodontics clinic that's there, and then the realignment of the Hinton Avenue, which will be important. And then in November of 2024, that's whenever we'll actually have the light complete. So that'll help with all the suicide turns there and help with public safety. I guess I should advance the slide. So what you see in front of you is like the top overhead of the design, and in the top right corner is what the bridge will look like from the design view, and then we have the schedule in the bottom left there. So getting the full mobilization in September. The one thing that when we sat down with the contractor, and one thing for the public to understand is like the components of this bridge. They got to create the molds for the actual steel for all the big turning parts in it. And that takes a little bit of time to get all those parts, so then we can actually construct that eastbound bridge. And once we get the eastbound done, then we'll be able to deconstruct the current bridge and finish the project out by September of 2026. So we look forward to continue to partner with the city and get this project done and communicate with the public so they know where we're at in replacing the old bridge and getting the new one in. So subject to any questions?
Colonel, this is the first time that I've ever come to realize the words "thank you" just don't express how we feel right now. So we really, really appreciate your leadership and making this day come to fruition. Thank you so much.
Could I ask a question?
Please.
Colonel, when we went to the award for the Elizabeth River grant, you mentioned something about cutting through some previous decisions that might help accelerate the project. Could you talk about that for a little bit?
Yes, ma'am. The concern that the contractor had was the flexibility for them to shut down traffic on the Dismal Swamp Canal. And so we clarified with them, it's just a notification to the U.S. Coast Guard that we're going to close it so that they can install the bridge. And so they were concerned they were going to be delayed on the ability to shut down the traffic, install the new bridge, and move out. So we clarified that for them. That's not a concern, and they'll be able to execute efficiently.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other comment, Mr. Manager?
I was just going to mention, Mr. Mayor, you mentioned leadership, and I want to express also gratitude for the leadership of Colonel Hallberg. Folks probably don't know, but he also had a pretty significant deployment. He was pulling double duty on a major disaster recovery response and still got this project to the construction award phase. So we're very, very grateful, and thank you so much.
Just briefly.
Is there anything we can do to make sure you never leave? Dr. Ward?
I love my job. I'd do it for forever if I could, but I don't think there is anything, no.
Really love
But thanks,
to have
Mayor.
you.
Not even working with Earl. I mean, that should be enough good reason.
Then as one who comes across that bridge every day, every time I have to come to city council meeting, over the last, really almost 23 years. I'm excited, including today. So I am truly, truly, truly excited to have you and to have this going forward. Thank you so, so very much for everybody. But for people who live in Western Branch like I do, double thank you, and to stay as long as you can.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. A lot of hard work by the district, and I really appreciate their hard work behind the scenes to make this happen. And the support from the city, really, your ability to communicate, help get the funds unlocked. So I appreciate that. And so we look forward to the groundbreaking on at 9:30 on the 25th of May to get that commitment from the contractor and stay on schedule and deliver this, and just to celebrate. This is a great victory.
Just one question for you. For citizens that travel that bridge to get home and to work, whatever, can you explain how we're going to continue with traffic there?
Yes, sir. So the most important thing is to get that realignment on Hinton Avenue, and once that's done, we can get the traffic light in to help control the traffic. So getting that eastbound bridge in first will allow the two-way traffic like it is right now until the westbound bridge that has the 3 lanes, it looks at it's a number 5 on that diagram that's put in. So at the completion of the project, we'll have 5 lanes versus the 2. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I've got another question relating to the bridge closure. I think that's something that a lot of us cringe about when you say a bridge closure, given what we've been experiencing recently in the city. I'm looking at the timeline, and do you anticipate a full closure of that bridge in order to do construction, be a partial closure?
It's the waterway traffic to clarify. So
Okay.
it's the traffic on the water traffic on the Dismal Swamp Canal. Once the eastbound bridge is in place, we won't have to close. It'll just be the temporary open for boat traffic to go through, kind of like it is now, but not closing the Deep Creek Bridge for vehicular traffic.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.